Tina Thomas. Oh my goodness, how wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful. She's created the Love Project, and it's just listen to this mission. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this mission. Oh my goodness. Invoke active participation in acts of kindness and the belief that the world can be changed by small acts through word, deeds, and art to raise the vibration of the community. She's had a very tough kind of upbringing. Her parents were great, everything was great, but she kind of fell in some bad things, bad business, marriage, etc., alcoholism. But she turned it all around now, and she dedicates herself and her life with her partner to this nonprofit who just makes these great signs that just say spreading love, and it's absolutely wonderful. And the signs have been bought everywhere in the world. It's up in military camps. It's just so the energy and and the peace that she brings from this foundation is absolutely wonderful. We'll be getting some here very soon, but it's just spreading love and kindness, and to devote oneself to that is incredible. I ask about discipline as well, of course, and where that plays a role. Her father was in the military, and how that wraps around, and how being present is so important. But just a wonderful conversation with Tina Thomas. Thanks for listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz. People ask me, how did I lose 130 pounds? The quick answer is always discipline. I started my business, wasn't paying attention to my health, was eating too much, drinking too much sweets. My daughter was born. Next thing I know, I'm pre-diabetic, I have hypertension. I knew something had to change. Discipline. I, like many of you, have faced many challenges in your career, in your family, in your life, in your faith. How did you attack them? How did you approach them? How did you solve them, hopefully? It all had to have some degree of discipline. I'm also asked, how did you found and start a tech business that lasted over 25 years? Discipline. I was committed to it, enjoyed technology, didn't enjoy some aspects of it, but knew it was necessary. Discipline. Our podcast mission, how do we use discipline to better ourselves and society? Join me, please, as I talk to interesting people and discuss how they use discipline in their family, and their passion, and their careers, and how it helped them. Our podcast vision, growth through learning from others. Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. It'll be light and serious. Join us, please. Thank you for consideration. Tina Thomas, thank you so much for your time today. Very excited to talk to you. Why do we need more love?
Love and kindness, because there's a yin and a yang to everything. And the positivity needs to be balanced out against all the negativity that's out there. Um, it's important. It's very important.
I just took a deep breath. So we talked about just breathing before your yoga instructor. It's so nice when there's so much negativity, and you can just take it out with kind of love like that, and with compassion. That's really your mission.
It is. It is. As Dr. King said, only love can drive out hate. And that's the way we feel, even though when I was doing some research on the word discipline, and it says that a lot of it's punishment and or negativity driving the change, driving the desired result. But I like to think that the learning process doesn't necessarily have to have that negativity and that pushback. Yes, friction does create a lot more movement, but it's much more helpful because everybody deals with friction and what's going on in the world, in your life, and in yourself. We're all dealing with that, the negativity, the friction, etc. That's going to drive change. So let's us meet it with positivity and love and kindness to ourselves and others, being compassionate so that we can navigate it to a more positive end versus the constant struggle.
Yeah, and I like you made a really quick point there. A lot of us need to love ourselves first before we can love others.
Mm-hmm. And it's not always easy to do.
No.
Try to forgive yourself of past things. The past is what kind of made us who we are, but we don't have to live there. Everybody, everything, every living being, everything's energy. So let's keep growing. Everything's constantly moving forward. Everything is a part of entropy. So let's take a big collective breath and go, okay, let's move forward in a positive way, please.
Mhm. Because, you yourself, we all arrived at this point. You at 10, you moved, you moved away, you had some failures in business and marriage with alcohol, things like this, but it all kind of came together. The universe brought you a fitting partner, and you ride your Harley Davidson, and you've made this incredible infinity love project. What is that about, Tina?
Yes. Well, yes, I get my wind therapy. Glad
Wind
springs
therapy.
back, riding my Sportster. But uh, I've always been a positive person,
Yeah.
and when I was in my 20s, instead of going straight into college, I decided to explore and bought a tour package with the Grateful Dead, and off I went.
Mm,
And so that gave me some very fun experiences. Then coming home and having to dive into the work scenario and trying to go to college at the same time, and then meeting a guy and having a family. Lots of challenges there. All the while, my family, had always battled drinking alcohol to excess.
mm,
I've lost a couple of family members to that scenario. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm not trying to be a Pollyanna, but we can get better. We can do better.
right.
So when uh, I was in 2016, I canvassed for Bernie.
Hmm.
Always constantly meeting for positive people, trying to do positive things, working in the school system while my kids were in school, um, and learning the importance of helping the next generation. So in 2018, I met a guy through our music, like a mutual love of music and yoga, and he's a custom woodworker. And he was giving out Teach Peace and Be Kind stickers. And he's like, Tina, I want to give out something more tangible. So he was in Michael's getting wooden letters for a custom sign. And he saw these wooden hearts. He's like, Tina, I want to give out hearts. So he painted it red, put an infinity on it, and said, Tina, what should we call our project? There it is.
Yeah.
And I said, how about the Infinite Love Project? And so the business of kindness was born, so to speak. We started handing out the hearts, and they have a little stamp on the back that encourages you to visit us at infiniteloveproject.com and join in spreading kindness. So it's a pocket token of kindness. And then in January of 2020, after years of divisiveness and one too many hurtful, hateful stories on the news of people being ugly to each other, he's like,
Mm,
we're better than this. So he took some leftover letters, leftover plywood, spray painted on the porch, and up on a pole by our house it went. And then within a week, he had made the crayon shape in his wood shop to speak to kids. And he put one of those signs on a pole overlooking the middle school where he had been bullied. And it was very
mm,
cathartic for him. In the meantime, our yoga and music tribes are like, I'll buy a sign, I'll put it on my porch, I'll put it on my fence. And
mm,
the spreading of kindness was born. That was in 2020. So as signs were being, put up in public spaces, and people were putting them on their porches and fences, and some utility poles here and there, and it seemed like all of a sudden people are like, "Wow, where are these signs? I love these signs. They're inspiring
mm,
me." They started making games out of finding the signs, and gratefully, throughout my experience. In '94, I had started a business with the internet when the World Wide Web first came about. Um, and I had done some marketing and sales before I went into the school system. So the universe said, Tina, you get to go back out there. Your kids are out of school. And I said, well, why don't we try to, make this hobby pay for itself, so to speak? Built a
mm,
website, started an e-commerce store. Uh, and then during the shutdown, the farmers markets were deemed essential. So the farmers market manager here in Westminster, downtown Westminster, said, please come be a part of our farmers market. We need
mm.
positivity. And we had no idea. We had a beautiful tribe there of people who were wanting to get the signs and help us spread kindness. So that's my full-time gig now. It's been for we're going on our fourth year. And we started a nonprofit called Action for Kindness because we now have a paint your own version. You can see some of the signs behind me that Eric has painted, and he makes some solid colors, rainbows, what have you. And then we have a paint version that is just a stencil of white and I guess a beige. And we take them to Boys and Girls Clubs, PTAs, schools, art centers, and we have a 2-hour holistic workshop since we're yoga instructors that infuses positivity with breath work and song. We have an official Be Kind song that's been made for us, professionally produced for us by the RJ Reynolds Band. Shout out to them. Thank you so much. They donated it to us as our official song. And we take all of that and put it into a workshop where people then, once they're in a positive state of mind, infuse their positivity and creativity with colors into the sign. And then they have it to take home or to give as a gift to remind us to be kind to ourselves and others, because it's exactly what it says on the back. And that's where we are.
So cool. And Tina, you were just making the point about um, how you brought everything together, and where it all came from. The mission of the Love Project, I love when, nonprofits put their kind of mission and vision up. You say, "Invoke active participation in acts of kindness and the belief that the world can be changed by small acts through word, deeds, and art to raise the vibration of the community." How wonderfully worded.
Thank you. Yeah, it's something that it was inherent to the way we were feeling and how we were interacting with our world around us, and knowing that other people were starting to feel the same way. We're
Mm,
not the only kindness movement in the world, actually. I was very inspired by Action for Happiness, which started out of England and has been backed by the Dalai Lama. It's
mm.
something that he has spoken about the that nonprofit out of England. So I was very inspired by that, saying, okay, well, there are other people who are trying to promote kindness, especially in our schools and our kids. There's kindness grows here out of Crofton. Um, uh, randomactsofkindness.org. There are a lot of those out there. So the more, the better. The way that we went about it was, okay, well, we want action for kindness. It's good to be kind, but we need some more positive action happening. Um, it My partner Eric said it best. I think that there are more positive, compassionate people out there than there are negative, angry people.
Mm,
It's
mm,
just that the latter are louder.
yeah.
So we're looking to connect the positive people and help to give them a voice, and it takes action to help with that positive pushback.
And is there ever a point where, the membership or some of the community wants to, kind of push some agendas and flow away from the mission, either be it political or religious, whatever it may be? Does that ever happen?
We've seen people, I don't want to say co-opt the message because we can't trademark be kind. It's
Mm,
it's a movement. We did trademark the heart. We were able to do that as a piece of the artwork and a part of the Infinite Love Project. Uh, However, people have like tried to use the signs or the movement that we have in their agenda of trying to make a point about politics or what have you, and we respect their opinions. Whether they're right or wrong is for everybody else to decide. We just want to make sure that everybody understands the message is pure. That if someone says something about a sign and how it has affected them, positive or negative, that's their opinion. That's the way it's been reflected in where they are in their journey and what they're trying to accomplish, and we respect that totally. But where we're coming from is it's apolitical,
mm,
and as the astrophysicist who requested the rainbow sign, the very first rainbow crayon that we ever made was a request from an astrophysicist who said she was pregnant with her first kid. And she said, I want 3 crayons, one for my house and each grandparent, so that everywhere my child goes, she's going to see that positive message
Wow.
in the rainbow. And if an astrophysicist says that it's important to have the visible spectrum in your life every day with a positive affirmation, there might be something to that. And so trying to co-op nature and the rainbow into agendas. Um, oh, it's tiring. It's getting old. Let's get back to the basics here, please.
Yeah, the part of the mission that really stuck to me is, raise the vibration of the community, and that's why when I hear, I don't wanna stick with the negative, but when there's people that have an agenda, whatever it may be, and then that
Mhm.
kind of slows the rhythm down, but it is something that could be measured. When there's kindness in the room, it's palpable, you could feel it.
Yes, you can. Everything's energy. So
Mm,
the fact that when the negative energy comes walking in the room, or when the positive energy comes walking in the room, everybody's affected. Everybody knows it. And so that's kind of like the negative, angry people being louder.
mm.
We have to bring our positive energy to a more audible level to help with the positive pushback, if you will.
And do you have a goal as to how many signs you wanna put up? Or you're mentioning your region, by the way, you're in Maryland. You're in Maryland
Mhm.
here in the US. And do you wanna expand it beyond your area? Do you have some goals that way?
We do. It's all about connecting positive people doing positive things no matter where they are.
Mm.
So right now, I can say that we have made over 6,400 signs in the four
Wow.
years. Uh, and the really cool part is over half of them have been purchased by people who are putting them on their porches, on their fences, gifting them to teachers for their classrooms, and then, of course, painting their own in our paint workshops. We have been able to, because we're e-commerce online, ship to over 39 states. And a friend of ours bought a 6 pack of crayons and put them up in the French Quarter. So we are in NOLA, which is fun. Well, we'll have some friends going down there for Jazz Fest going, sign, and sending us pictures like it's like it's a wow, it's a cool thing. So we're grateful for that. And then people are actually taking them overseas. We have friends who have taken them to Spain, Ireland. One of our business owner friends here in Westminster, he shipped one to his son stationed in Saudi Arabia. And so it's now hanging up in the barracks there. So uh, yeah, the message is universal. And we're grateful that other people agree. It's important to have it as a visual reminder. Sometimes you just need a reminder to see a
You
sign.
do. You do. You do, just to kinda slow down. And in this world where everybody's got their head down in their phone, and just kind of less communicating. And to see that, just a sign like that. And I was so encouraged by your website, the way it shows the kids in classrooms painting these signs, and it and where they are in different areas. It's absolutely wonderful. Your vision: everyone encourages and engages in dialogue and action to create a positive, collaborative reality.
That statement, positive collaborative reality, came to me when we were in Delaware with friends for New Year's, and I was able to wake up and take a walk out on the beach. And as soon as I came back to the hotel room, those are the words that I wrote on the paper: positive collaborative reality. And it's like that was the mantra for the year. Um, and that was 2021, so the second year after the signs were born. And I'm grateful for those insights that just kind of pop up. We were talking with a woman who is the creative director of an art center in the lower Baltimore area, in Brooklyn Park area. And she said, "I'm so grateful that I found you. The universe has put us in this space that we can collaborate now, and we get a lot of that, and we're grateful for that. Uh, it, Either the glass is half full or it's half empty, and we're hoping to help more people see that it is half full, and and we can reach out our hand to people who are above us, below us, around us, um, and that's where we are. Yeah.
What do you do when you're down, Tina?
Oh, I take a big breath.
Mm.
Sometimes I exercise. Sometimes I soak my feet and just try to chill with a good book. Uh, uh, I get wind therapy from my motorcycle. Sometimes I just need to take a ride. Dirt therapy, doing my gardening. Oh my gosh. Sometimes that is just wonderful. Just being able to just listen to the birds and close out my mind and say, okay, I'm just here with the earth. Uh, and get the positive energy from the earth. That's helpful as well. And sometimes I just need to talk to somebody. That's something I learned in our study of yoga, because yoga is a practice and we're studying it. It's very helpful, another tool to help navigate this mortal coil existence, so to speak. But in the chakras, because everything is energy, sometimes energy gets stuck in one of your chakras, and mine usually gets stuck in my throat chakra. So I need to go into a sauna and let that dry heat kind of pull it up and out of me, or talk to somebody. So when I'm down, I go, okay, I need to do something different. What is that something different? Someone said once that if you're hungry, eat something. If you're tired, take a nap. It can be that simple. It's when you try to do things that you don't have the energy to do, when frustration and anger can set in. So try to be kind to yourself and mindful to what you need, so then you can recharge, re energize to be there for yourself and other people too.
It must be real rewarding when you hear people putting up these signs and want to order them and put them in their grandparents' place and things like this. That must well, that's really what we talked about before. It's increasing and raising the vibration of the community.
Yes, it is. We're grateful that the city of Westminster has embraced the signs. Half of the city council has bought them.
Wow.
We're working with them and the Carroll County Arts Center to put together a kindness stroll. The city likes to shut down the main street for their strolls. They'll do a wine stroll or an oyster stroll, or the Flower and Jazz Fest. So what we're looking forward to doing in collaboration with the schools is to have kids, students paint signs, and then have Main Street merchants feature those signs in their windows and in their stores, and then have the public come and like vote for their favorite, maybe put a bid on a sign. The end result will be that we'll raise funds for our nonprofits here in the community, and then also the end goal would be to have the signs displayed in some way. Hopefully, if it doesn't,
Please continue where you're talking about the strolling.
yes. So the goal is to have the students paint the signs, paint Be Kind signs, and have merchants and others on Main Street feature the signs on display, and then have people bid on them, like bid on their favorites, maybe perhaps bid to buy them, and then raising money for our nonprofits in the area, Action for Kindness, the Art Center, and then also having the signs. The end goal is to have them displayed, hopefully gifted to teachers for their classrooms, or in some way end up in a public space. So that's something that we really appreciate about the city of Westminster supporting the Be Kind sign movement. And there was even a request for a Be Kind shirt where it says, Be Kind, originator of the signs, kind of a shirt. First established Westminster 2020.
Of what you're wearing now.
Yes, I'm wearing one of our shirts. We have a couple of collaborators on shirts, and looking forward to rolling some more shirts out later this year.
And the goal I asked before, but you have it in writing on the site as well, manifest a kinder world.
Mhm.
Collaborate with others to do the same. How do you measure that?
Great question. We are working with McDaniel College, a private college here in Westminster, to see if their sociology department can't help us measure it.
Mm.
Since the signs were born here, the biggest concentration of signs we believe in public spaces are here. Uh, And so the college has also embraced the message. They've had a couple of paint events with students. We're working really closely with them, and they gratefully have said yes to putting together a plug-in for the curriculum to have the science effect studied here in Westminster and Carroll County. I don't know if they'll go further than that, but at least it's a start.
Mm. Yeah, very much so. Your dedication to, to kindness and to love, like this, Tina, it's very unique. How do you get the energy to do it?
Oh, I'm not sure. Honestly, I guess everybody goes through their trials.
Mm,
I was always a positive kid, always like, jump rope and hopscotch and swimming. And I'm grateful to my parents to have given me that sort of middle class life. Uh, and my dad's a former Marine, so he gave me some understanding of discipline and work ethic. And my mom was a home worker, and then um, when we moved, we needed more income, and she went to work. And they've always had an amazing work ethic. They're still in their 80s and doing wonderfully. Dad's still got his garden. Mom still crochets and sews, and uh, was working the school system. So having that model has been so helpful, and
mm,
having them allow me the room and the space to make my own mistakes, to go out in the world and fall on my face, and have not, find out on my own, and then with counsel from them, why people do what they do, and like, why did I experience this, and why is this person making me so sad, uh, and all of that education, real world education, really helped me go, well, okay, in spite of all that, I still love waking up with the sun and listening to the birds. And so, if you don't feel that way, how come you don't feel that way? I'm not sure that I'm qualified to help you understand it, but I can give you a break. I can give you a respite. Just sit here with me and let's breathe. And let's, it doesn't have to be that bad. So let's take a collective breath and say, okay, we're still here. What else can we do? That's just the way I'm rolling.
yeah, I could sense it. You really have a strong compassion for it. Do you receive pushback at all from the community, from others, trolls? Does this happen? I can't
Occasionally,
imagine.
occasionally, yeah, we've had. There's a couple of signs in public spaces that were defaced. Um,
Uh,
Interesting, and a couple have disappeared. But interestingly enough, with the ones that were defaced, first we were just like replacing them, but that was like a clean slate for defacement.
mm,
So then Eric painted over that defacing artwork with the message of be kind. And so now the original artwork's there, the defaced artwork's there, but the message is still visible. And for some reason, they're staying up. They're not being touched anymore. So I think we've struck a balance, which is interesting. There was a lady who owned a yoga studio in Harford County, and she bought two signs, and she put it on the light pole on either side in front of her store. And like 2 months later, the signs disappeared. And they were way up high. She put them like way up high. And we're just like at a loss. She's like, I guess I'm going to have to buy two new ones, because just I get so much positive feedback from people seeing the signs, and they bring me joy. So in about a week, within a week, she said, guess what? They're back. I said, no way. She goes, yeah, at almost the exact same spot. And so we kind of joke about how, some teenage guys just went up and got the signs because they liked them. And then someone went, hey, dude, that wasn't too kind. So maybe they put them back up, perhaps. We do know for a fact that that happened in another county where they had a yard sign. We have make yard signs where it's two-sided and it has metal legs. So you could just like plop it in the ground. And it was a gift from a wife to a husband. And like a year later, it disappeared. and they were like really despondent. They were so, because she made a long post on social media about how important and how impactful this sign was, not only to her husband, but to the community. And within 4 days, it returned. Um, and so we have people out there who are going, well, it's just, it's just a message. It's just, or trying to co-opt it into, oh, this is negative left-wing stuff or whatever.
Mm.
But I guess karma's coming back to say, no, actually, it's just a good message. So let's leave it alone. Let's take it for the face value that it should be for.
Yeah, you can go a couple ways with that. One could just be random vandalism, and not really paying attention to what it is. And maybe others think it's some kind of co-opted, message, some inside message that, they're fearful of. It's so hard to, but these are one-offs, right, Tina? I mean,
Yes.
overwhelmingly, people enjoy kindness. People want love.
Yes, yes. And so people are asking for the signs to be a, a guest booked at their wedding, where the
Mm.
message is in the middle and everybody's signing around it for their wedding, and gifting it for different reasons. It's really beautiful how people have embraced the message and are like, it's like a breath of fresh air, like a sigh of relief. Like, there's other positive people out there like me. I'm not alone, kind of thing. And that kind of brings me to when I give out the hearts, because I'll always keep a pocket full of hearts, and I encourage people to do that. You can go to the website and get a starter set for free, because that's the premise of the thing, is to share kindness. When I give out hearts, usually there's four different responses that I get. Every once in a blue moon, I'll get a no thanks. And I'm like, okay, and I walk on. But then I'll get the three main responses are, oh, that's cool, thank you, or oh man, I needed this today. You have no idea what kind of day I've had. I
Mm.
appreciate you so much. Thank you. This is perfect. And then every once in a while, I'll get a gasp. For me, like, and almost not even any words happen. You just feel the energy of this person needing a hug. It's that impactful to them. And I even get a little misty eyed when I talk about the people that I've met, where I have no idea where you are in your journey. It's just like, I just feel like I could give you this, and it'll help you. And then the hugs happen, and whew, then we breathe together. So yeah, you never know how impactful.
So Tina, I always bring up, I started my business and I wasn't paying attention to myself. I gained a lot of weight. The doctor said I'm not going to see my daughter graduate unless I, do something drastic. I lost 130 pounds over a year, and people always ask me how I did it, and I say discipline. So, given your extraordinary background and what you're doing now, you mentioned your father was in the military. How does discipline play a role in your life?
Discipline is so important in my life. And I know we were talking a little bit earlier about how there's different ways to have discipline impact you. And there's the punishment version, trying to get a desired effect, a consistent desired effect. And then there's the more positive learning way of doing it. I think for me, I've experienced both, and I totally want to go the positive learning way. Um, I have a saying on my fridge that I wrote down so I could share it with you. I don't know where it came from, but it's on my fridge. It says, "You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present and persistent." And that reminds me that if I want change, I have to find that little kernel of something that I can do every day to get me there. When it came to trying to, for me, to lose weight and get healthier, especially after having kids, that it was yoga every day. As I get older, that's even more important, because the joints get achy, and you can easily start cracking knees and ankles and stuff if you sit too long. So I keep telling my yoga students the best yoga mat in the world is my mattress because that's where I start my day. And I get myself into a positive mindset by just stretching before my feet even hit the floor. And then, yeah, I happen to have a yoga mat at the bottom of my bed and get over to there and start my yoga day. But when it comes to discipline, that just getting to a routine in a positive way that says, uh, this can help you navigate whatever's going to come today. Then adding things like learning to build a business. Some things are new. And then, so how do I navigate that? And what disciplines, what routines, what new information do I need to have or put in place to get me there? And discipline is that I will reach out to people when I don't know something. Just putting that in place. Discipline is that I will only check my email at certain times so that I'm not pulled away from something that I need to focus on by the barrage of emails or what have you. Um, and I really wanted to also share with you the thought from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. There's a Yoga Sutra 2.16 that says, pain that has not yet come is avoidable. And so, what do I need to do to avoid the pain? If I want to avoid the pain of having to carry around a lot of weight, how can I avoid that? Um, by not eating the wrong things and making sure that I get good cardio. Uh, so, discipline has always kind of brought me back to being able to stay positive. Yeah. And we breathe again.
Let me breathe again. I wonder, how does discipline play in spreading love, in spreading kindness? I mean, you talked about, getting away from your email because you're not present. Being present, you're on your refrigerator, and so often we're not present. We're looking down at your phone or wherever. Kind of step away. You need that discipline to be present, to
Mhm.
be with others, to love and to spread kindness. I never really thought of it that way, but I think that's the case as well. You bring up a very good point.
Yeah, I think one of the most impactful stories I ever heard was someone saying that uh, I was amazed when someone took the time to sit there and listen to me,
Mhm.
and nothing else was around but me, and they just listened and were there for me and present for me. And I was like, wow, well, I love when that happens, when there's a connection made because there's so much presence. And it's so easy in today's distracted, siloed world to not be present. How can we disconnect and unplug from the fact that we feel like we have to multitask to be able to focus so that we can be here for ourselves and then be here for others. It's not an easy task. It's something that you have to decide to do, just like you decide what's for me. I had written down the path to change, of course, is not linear, um, but you have to decide who do I want to be? And the things that are not serving you, say, that ain't me. I don't drink soda pop. I don't drink, carbonated, sugary drinks. That ain't me. And that helps me stay healthier. So what do I have to say no to? What do I have to say? That ain't me. I used to smoke and drink alcohol. I was a party girl. That ain't me anymore. You know. So sometimes it takes years to get to that realization that things aren't serving you, and you can say that ain't me, and move on to something. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's amazing. They say there's so many cliches, but once one door closes, don't look at it for too long, because if you turn around and look around, you'll see all the other opportunities and doors that have opened for you. Emotion drags you down and usually keeps you looking at that closed door, and it's hard. So be open to taking the hand that's being given to you to help you change, to help you figure things out. You don't have to do it alone. Yeah, kind of meandered on that answer, but did that answer your
Wonderful.
question?
Yeah, absolutely. Tina Thomas, what motivates you?
What motivates me? wanting to wake up every day in a world that I like.
Hmm.
Um, and I realize that starts with me. I can only work on myself. So, and then if, like the sun is a light, any light, if that helps illuminate others' spaces, other places, other mindsets, great. I hope so. That would be so cool.
How do you measure success?
Ah, oh, good question. Uh, well, there's many levels of success. You know, success in life, success in money. Um, Monetarily, money flows. I think success is have you, work the numbers well, or have you partnered up with somebody and found somebody to help you work the numbers well, to make sure that things that need to happen will keep you in a positive forward motion. Um, and then when it comes to life, success is, was I able to navigate today and perhaps, hopefully, impact somebody else in a positive way? Was I able to achieve my goals? A lot of times I don't,
Mm.
but forgive myself and try again tomorrow. That's a successful day to me.
How wonderful. I really like waking up to a world I like. That is wonderful, wonderful notion. Tina Thomas, what a great pleasure. I'm so happy you did this. You're really good at this. Please do more and spread the word. How can we get in touch with you?
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Um, you can go to bekindsign.com and take a look at the signs. The ability to get the Infinite Love Hearts is also there on the same website. And there's an email that people can send and reach out and let us know what you're thinking.
Be kind sign. BeKindSingn.com. Tina, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. You be well and please keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye bye.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information. The video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Would you like to financially support the podcast? You can go to our Patreon site. Consider $5, $10, or $20 a month. There's all kind of plans that we have there. There's like a one-time payment. What is this podcast episode worth to you? $25, $50, $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000. You be the judge. You can go to our PayPal account to do that as well. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pin's Discipline Conversations.